So this is the good stuff. This is the anatomy of a deal. This is a real life deal that I completed. 6112 62nd Place in Capitol Heights, Maryland. Once again, this is a real life wholesale deal. Okay, so I'm cruising the multiple listing system on July 30th. Not cruising, but I'm looking for deals. I'm on the MLS for a purpose. I'm looking for deals. And I saw this property listed on the MLS for $59,900. Now, I did some research. The property had been listed on the MLS for over 100 days. The price had just been reduced from almost $86,000 down to $59,900. The reason, because the property was under contract. Contract fell out. After contracts fall out, usually there's a pretty significant price reduction. You'll definitely want to pay attention to that. That can be a great deal for you in the future. This property was listed as a 4-bedroom, 2-bath rambler. I noticed in a picture, the picture revealed a second house on the property, while the listing didn't mention that house at all. So I researched the previous listings and I determined, one, it had been recently renovated. I believe in 2006, the property had been fully renovated, either 2006 or 2007. And the property did in fact have a guest house on the rear of the property. Guest house, 500 square feet, 2 levels, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, full kitchen, separate electric. I mean, it's a real house, a guest house. I ran comps on it that same day, determined a conservative value of $180,000. So alarms went off in my head. Property's worth $180,000. It's on the market for $59,000. There's a lot of spread right there. So I immediately went to take a look at the property on the 31st of July, and taking notes and plenty of pictures, I determined it needed repairs of a little bit over $34,000. So I submitted my offer, and this was cool because in this case, I could submit the initial offer could be submitted online. So I submitted an offer a couple of days later on August 2nd in the amount of $60,000, $100 more than a list price. And some people may say, well, why'd you offer the list price? I mean, you should have offered less. And here's a point that both experienced and new investors make. Sometimes sometimes you guys and girls offer a lower price just because. So I don't care if I'm selling the property for $10, you're going to offer $5. And regardless of what it's worth, you offer less just because. And sometimes or often, you're going to miss out on deals. So your offer should be based on some type of rhyme and reason. Don't offer low just because you miss out on, so you sell yourself short on some excellent deals. So I actually got a phone call on August 2nd from the asset manager. It doesn't happen often, but I got a call. The asset manager said, hey, the property was recently under contract. It fell out. I'm looking at your offer. We'll accept your offer. Here are the 2 conditions. Increase your earnest money deposit to $5,000 and remove your inspection contingency. And, the asset manager gave me 24 hours to do this. So I used my 24 hours to start pre-marketing to my cash buyers list. And I sent out this ad that says guest house, main house, I showed the picture. 2 houses for the price of one, $73,500. And in an email, I broke down that the 2 properties would give off net cash flow of about $700 a month. And I also detailed the spread in the net profit that could be made from rehabbing the house. So I called back the asset manager the next day, and it was really based on the feedback I got from my list, because I knew the property would go. So on the 3rd of August, submitted the offer, um, changed earnest money deposit to $5,000, and the ad offer was accepted. So that same day, I do a full marketing blast to my entire list. I start marketing online. I mean, I blast the property out. Like, I make sure anybody looking to buy properties, you know, in Capitol Heights, Maryland, knows about this property right here. 2 days later, folks, 2 days later, August 5th, I get a buyer that's interested at $69,500. So I have me and the end buyer sign the assignment of LLC agreement, and I get a $5,000 non-refundable deposit. So at that point, I'm not into the deal for anything at that point. Earnest money deposit was $5,000. I collected $5,000. And this buyer, early in the presentation I mentioned the power of networking. This buyer was somebody I had met at an event, a real estate investing event, about a week to a week and a half prior. And through networking, this person got onto my buyer's list. This person called me when they got my email and said, "Hey, I am interested in this deal." On the 19th of August, while I was in Baltimore taking care of some other stuff, stopped by the Department of Assessments and Taxation, and I set up the LLC. And I was in and out probably in about half an hour. August 27th, settlement day, made a $9,500 profit. My buyer was very happy because they know they're going to make a ton of money renting it out or rehabbing it for profit. So they were happy about the deal. I was happy. $9,500 check in my hand. Those types of things always tend to make you happy. So here's the tail of the tape. Total profit, $9,500. The duration, from the day I laid eyes on that property while it was on the MLS to the day I collected a check, a profit in my hand of $9,500, that total duration, 29 days. Credit requirements, they were none on my part. I wasn't buying the property, so I did not need to have credit or utilize credit. Cash invested, really it was zero. I mean, I didn't have any marketing cost. So any costs I had were what we kind of consider soft cost, like monthly overhead, internet access to the MLS, cell phone bill, gas in a car, things like that. The monthly overhead that any business has, but no really hard cost dedicated to this particular transaction. I did spend $150 setting up the LLC. And in other cases or other times, I've charged that fee back to my end buyer. In this case, I didn't. Not a big deal. Hours invested, and I counted hours, and I'm not making this number up. I mean, I kind of keep track. I don't jot everything down on a piece of paper, but I keep kind of a running tally of how much time I spend doing things. 7.5 hours invested. That's a profit of $1,266 per hour. That, folks, and that's not bad considering I'm not an attorney and not a surgeon, and I'm not dealing in illicit or illegal activity. $1,266 per hour isn't a bad hourly salary. What do you think? Let's just recap. Wholesaling is great for new and experienced investors. I'm an experienced investor. I'm not too busy to make $9,500 in a few hours. I'm not too busy for that. It's highly leveraged, almost all pure profit. I showed you just now on the tail of the tape. Really, I had little or none into the deal. You've got to learn a maximum allowable offer. Great deal sale. This is a prime example. It was a good deal and it went quickly. Remember that. If anything you remember to learn MAO and don't try to wholesale crap. Uh, the key to estimating repairs is breaking the home down into components. How many doors, how many windows, how many bathrooms, how many rooms in the house need paint, how many rooms in the house need carpet, how many rooms in the house need a tile floor, etc. The deals are out there. I just showed you where I found one deal. The buyers are out there. You should always be marketing, always looking for buyers for your deals, always looking for more deals. You know, when I met this person at this real estate investing event, I met him because I was networking. I was opening my mouth. I was talking to people. Not chit-chatting just to talk, but talking with a purpose. Networking, often they say your network determines your net worth. REO and bank-owned properties are one source. They are a single source. They are not the only source. I mean, honestly, I could go on all day and then go into a second day about deal sources. I mean, there are dozens of deal sources, you know? Here's the common thing. Just look for motivation. Banks are extremely motivated. That's why that is one of the deal sources that works because banks are motivated. But let me just say, once again, REOs are not the only deal source. So you've got to develop a well-rounded plan that takes into account other deal sources. So folks, that was Wholesaling 101. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I was able to kind of demystify wholesaling for you. And, and there are a lot more detail, we can go into on wholesaling, but I did just want to at least introduce you to it, give you a brief overview, and kind of show you behind the scenes. Just be on the lookout for another video where I'll talk about where I'll drill down on some topics, and also I'll kind of answer some frequently asked questions pertaining to this presentation. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll most certainly see you in the fast lane, and I'll see you at the settlement table.